Hey guys, it's me, Made Up Jen, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm gonna go ahead and review this practice hand by Aolonovo. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it is their pink hand. I know they have a pink one and a nude colored one, but really quick, I bought this off of Amazon and I'm just gonna go ahead and practice with it. So most of the time now when I buy any hand, I just go ahead and practice with it once, and if I don't like it, I return it. So that's what happened with my other hand. But really quick, I do like how this hand came. The plastic was on the hand, so you know it wasn't used. But the one thing that did bother me was this. It was rusted where the screw was at. I don't know if that was just this hand or if it was the other hand. This is actually the first time I opened it, so I don't know if that was a manufacturer problem or what it was, but that's how it came. And it comes with white tips, it comes with natural tips, and it comes with clear tips. So if you do end up keeping this hand, you do have a couple of tips to work with. So, you know, you have a variety. And really quick, I did like these fingers on the bottom. They have kind of like a rubber feel. So when you grab each finger, you actually feel like you could grip it. Started off by actually cutting the tips, and then I realized, wait, I didn't even read the instructions. I just opened the box, and then I actually read that you're supposed to pull out the finger, make sure the tip is clipped in right, and then you slide it back in and make sure it's aligned with those little lines you see down there. And you're supposed, I don't think you hear like a click. I never heard an actual click, so you know, I just went with it and assumed it was good, and it was because it did not move the rest of the time. And right now I'm just filing it down like I would if it was a real finger, and I did this for all four of the fingers. I didn't use the thumb because I felt like the four fingers were just enough for practicing. And right here, I'm just going to use a medium sanding band to remove the shine, just like if it were a regular nail. I don't pretend to push the cuticle because, you know, there is no actual cuticle. There's just like this little bump. And if you ever get a practice hand, they all have that same little bump. But I did see a video from YN the other day where you should just take that off so you could not have that little part. But I left it there anyway, and I am using the Air C electric file that I bought on Amazon. Just FYI, all of the products I do use, I will link them down below. So just in case you were wondering. And right now I'm just sizing the nails. The one problem I had with the last nail hand that I had was I tried to clip the finger, and the one problem with all these hands is that the nails are like so wide that you have to like press down so that it could fit, because the nails you have, you know, they're meant for like fingers that curve, they're just not as wide. So what I did here is I kept pressing down on the nail to kind of like flatten it out. I don't know if you guys see there's like that line in the center. I had no choice. I had to make it work, but I was really happy that after that happened, it stayed. And then I just go ahead and cut it, just make sure that's the size I wanted to work with. I'm pretending like it's me. I usually don't do long nails, and I practice to do somewhat long nails, not that long. I know for some of you guys that's like short, but for me, that's long. And I am practicing my filing. I did choose a nail that was a little bit bigger than the actual nail, so I had to file the sides of that to make sure it was all equal. And then I go ahead again with the medium sanding band, and I just pretty much file the tip, and then I blend in the nail to the natural nail so that it won't have that little bump. I never realized why you did this. I just saw everybody do it, but it's pretty much to flatten out the nail to blend it in with the natural nail. So this is necessary. You obviously don't have to do the tip. I do the whole tip and where you glue it to blend the whole nail all together. And right here, I do use the dehydrator from Mia Secret, and then I use their primer as well. Again, everything's linked down below. And for the monomer, I am using also the Mia Secret 8 fluid ounce monomer. FYI, this one does smell a little, so if you're doing this at home, please, please, please be careful because it does smell. And for the color, I am using the Mia Secret acrylic powder in the beige. I didn't know what I wanted to do with each one of the nails, but I know I wanted to practice something. So right here, I'm just gonna go ahead and try to do an almond shape and do kind of like the French tip. I was working on my smile. That's what they call it, working on your smile. I don't know what that means, but I've seen that and people say, "Oh, you know, you have a good C curve or a or a smile." I don't get what that means, but I'm trying to do like a French tip here. I started down that top part and then I worked my way down to the cuticle area. I'm not an expert, FYI. Like I said, it's a practice and I'm practicing because I am have had a very hard time like knowing how thick the nail's supposed to be, how much of the bead I'm supposed to get. If anyone has been following me with all these nail videos, you guys know I've always started little on my beads and then I just like go little by little and I build up. For this particular hand, I did risk a little bit and I went a little bit bigger on my beads. And I'm just practicing. For this particular finger, I am moving the product. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I am moving side to side. I want to make sure that my nail is not completely flat at the top. And once it dries, I go in with my file and I shape that top portion the way I want it to be shaped. Remember, you want to make sure you do this once the acrylic is dry. You don't want to remove the acrylic and then ruin everything you just worked hard for. And then right here I am using the Cacee Pro Nail Art Acrylic Powder. This is the same powder I used for my Christmas nail. So if you've seen my Christmas nail video, this is the same color. This is in the color 17 Dorothy Red. And I just blend it in little by little. As you guys can see, it's very pigmented. It's very, very pigmented. And you have to really work this in slowly, not with a lot of monomer. If you put a lot of monomer, it's going to run like crazy. And the one mistake that I did do with this particular finger is obviously I ran it onto the beige, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm letting you guys know right now, it's okay because once you file the nail again, that will come off, so don't panic about that. And don't forget to go under the nail. Sometimes the acrylic, especially when it's runny, it runs under the nail and it goes into the side of the nails where you really can't see, and then you have to like go in there with the tip of the brush and it's just a big mess. And also, I am working little by little. I am not putting a humongous bead and then going from there. I don't think I'm ready for that. I'm still learning. I feel like doing acrylics is like a lifelong learning experience. Like you never can stop learning something. You are always learning something every time you do nails. And right here, I actually struggle with the fingers. So obviously, when you're working on a real hand, you can move your fingers side to side because you want to know if you're using the right length every time. You know, you don't want to have one finger one certain size and then the other finger longer or shorter than the one right next to it. You obviously want to have all the nails even. And right here, when I was moving on to the ring finger, I wanted to size it up next to the pinky, and it was just not happening. I was just like, screw it. I'm just going to take a guess and cut off where the number's at and just pray and hope that I got it right. So again, I didn't know what I was going to do with the nails or with each fingernail, to be honest with you guys, but I was just like, screw it. I'm just going to go ahead and try the sweater method. I know you guys all saw it during November, December, where you put the one solid color and then you grab the gel polish and then you outline whatever sweater design you wanted to put on the nail. I, on the other hand, had never done that before and I had seen so many people do it. I saw a Instagram live that Jessica Nails did on IG. If you don't follow her and you're trying to do the Gel X method, I do suggest following her. She does show little videos. She does not accept new clients, but she does have tutorials and she does do acrylic from time to time. So if you're not following her, you should follow her. There's a lot of people on Instagram that just put tutorials for free and they're very helpful even if it's just like a little bit. So again, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just coloring and at this point I'm actually planning Christmas nails before I did the other Christmas nail video that I have on here. So I'm just going with it. I like I said, I'm just like, okay, Christmas, Christmas, red Christmas. And as you guys could tell, this red acrylic is like very kind of runny. It just kind of moves everywhere. And the one problem I have with this color is it dries down a little bit fast, but it doesn't dry down a little fast. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if anyone knows what I'm trying or how I'm trying to explain it, but it was runny in the sense where I could move it anywhere, but at the same time, it would keep getting stuck to my brush. So I'm just slowly moving it, and as you guys see, I'm moving little by little, but because it's kind of runny, I could run it all the way down. But it's not thick enough to where it's where I need the nail to be. You guys see, my brush is like super stained. And again, don't forget to go under because this acrylic is so weird and runny. And the way I kind of like move my brush, it moves the acrylic under the nail. When I was done with this, I actually did have some of the red acrylic under the nail when I removed it from the practice hand. And again, this is for practice purposes, so don't feel rushed. Don't feel like you have to hurry the hell up to finish the finger. I'm just working here to like learn. As you guys see, my hands are not, my fingers were not the greatest. Right here, I did go a little bit thicker on the application. Sorry if you guys can't see the whole thing, but as I was doing this, I didn't notice that the finger wasn't in the camera's view. So that's why you guys only see the top part. So I'm so sorry. But you guys see the work, right? I'm going little by little. And I actually thought I was going really thick on the acrylic. And as you guys see the two nails next to each other right now that are just chilling on the side, they look very flat. So if anyone has any comments or suggestions on how thick I should be doing the nails or how thin I should be doing the nails, please let me know in the comment section down below. I'm barely getting by, guys. And for this now, I did choose to go ombre, so that's why I only go that far in. And also don't forget to check under the nail. And while that's drying, I'm going in with my buffing brush because I did have dips. Like I said, my application was not thick as I thought it was. It was pretty flat. And you guys notice it when you're applying the top coat and you notice that some of the sections it's not grabbing on, it's because you have like a dip or it's not even. So that's why I had to go in with my top coat a little bit more thicker to kind of like fill in those dips that I left because I didn't apply enough acrylic. And like I said, I'm doing the sweater now, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the LED light so it could cure. And then I just grab a red polish that I had. It is the Gelish brand, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I will link it down below. I got it at Sally's. And as you guys saw, I went a little bit too thick, so I had to go in with another brush and I kind of like rubbed off the polish and then I try to like remove it. I don't know what I was thinking. Like I said, this is my first time. Never did it before. I'm just going on a limb here. You know, you're never gonna learn if you're not practicing it. And I'm practicing right here. And I felt like the application was a little too thin, so I do go back in and apply a little bit more polish because I felt like when I applied the powder on top of it, it probably wasn't going to grab on as much as I thought it was. And honestly, I could have gone thicker because you guys are going to see it right now. When I apply the powder, I probably should have gone with clear and not the same red that I used. But again, I'm learning. I don't know any better. And the problem with using this color is it stains. It stains. It doesn't matter what you do, it stains. It actually stained this finger on this practice hand because that acrylic was super pigmented. And right here, after you apply the powder and you kind of like dust off whatever is left over, you put it back into the UV light. And I cure both times, even the top coat, I cure it for 60 seconds. And then I remove it, and then I grab, my just my little brush, and I just dust off any excess. And it wasn't completely dry, so that was kind of a fail, but it is what it is. And then right here, I'm going in with the same Mia Secret beige color. It just looks a little bit more pink because the red tone was stuck on my brush. I tried to clean it off, but it kind of like stained it, and it looks more pinkish because of the red color that's under. I was trying to do an ombre. I have not mastered the ombre. I have such a hard time with the ombre. Like, I try to make it work. I don't know if it's because I have it too runny. I don't know if I need to apply less monomer, but you guys see right here, like, I'm trying to make it work. I don't know if I'm applying it too up or too down. Can someone just give me some tips here? But I realized that I put it too high up, so then I kind of like pushed it down, and then I go under because some of it did run under on the side, and then I try to like slowly blend it to the top, but it was a big fail. The struggle was real, guys. The struggle was real. But the cuticle area, everything else was fine. It was just the blend area that was not that fine. But I'm still gonna make it work with whatever I have. I tried to like slowly blend it to the top, but it just was not working. Like the blend was just not looking well. I don't know if my hand was too heavy, but it is what it is. And right here, I'm trying to kind of make the cuticle area a little bit more even to the top. Like I said, I don't know how thick or how thin I'm supposed to work it. Sometimes I'll see people's nails and like the tips are like just a C curve and it looks super skinny, but the bottom looks like where the cuticle area is, it looks like thick. I know that you have the apex area. You're supposed to build like an apex. I just don't know how I'm supposed to build that apex quite well. I'm struggling, guys. I'm really much struggling. And then I don't like how I keep putting the beige color too high up. So then with my brush, I like stab it back down. And at some point, I kind of like just gave up. And I was just like, whatever. I'm just gonna move on with this because I'm not gonna get it. It is what it is. I am going to get it, but for right now, practice, 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 practice. And then once I'm satisfied with how the nail looks, because I kind of just gave up with it, I go ahead and go back to the other nail where I wasn't going to add anything. I was just going to leave it like that. I just put a clear coat just to kind of like fill in the dips because I do have dips in this nail. Like I said, I thought I applied a thick bead to it, but I didn't. So I'm just going in with the clear acrylic and try to fill in those dips and try to salvage this nail because it looks so flat, but it didn't work quite well. And again, if you are new, do not feel discouraged. You still have to keep practicing. I've been doing this for over a year pretty much, and I'm still struggling. It's normal, it's okay. A lot of people just keep going with it, and you just gotta keep practicing. And this now, I also did apply a clear acrylic coat on top of it because I was like, it is what it is. I gotta file it down. And if I file it down and some of it comes off, it's okay because I have that clear coat on top of it to help most of the color not come off. And remember how I told you guys to not worry about that red that came on top of that beige? this is what I'm doing now. So I'm going in back with my file and I'm reshaping the nail the way I want it to be shaped. And then I'm going on top of where that red is and I'm filing it off and slowly shaping it to the way I want it to. This nail came out like as good as it's gonna get for me, considering it was my first time like really practicing on a practice hand. I've never practiced on anyone else's hand, so I think I did pretty well. And I just dusted off and then I realized my hand's getting tired. I'm gonna keep filing it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go with the e-file with the medium sanding band again. And it just kind of helps take off that red much easier and much faster instead of me going little by little. And I know that doing it with the e-file, it was going to come out more even, because sometimes when you're filing and you go side to side, one side could come out a little bit different than the other. As you guys could see, it's coming out a little bit flat. So I decide, let me go from right to left, right to left. Make sure don't go right and then come back left, right. You want to make sure you go right to left, pick up your e-file, and then go back again right to left. Don't go back and forth because it will ruin the shape of the nail. And then right here, I'm satisfied with how the nail came out. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pretty much seal it with the clear acrylic. That way it's good to go. I don't need to do anything else. I'm done. If I do need to go back in with my file, it's just to pretty much just sharpen the shape. Nothing else. What do you guys think? I think it came out good. Again, it's all about being patient with the process. Don't be scared if it looks bad at the beginning. It's okay. So again, I wait for the acrylic to dry and then I notice, okay, I need to shape it a little bit more. One side looks a little bit more wider than the other side. Let me just go in with my file and make sure that it's shaped well and that my sides are not facing down. So I go under the nail, I flatten the tip, make sure it's nice and good to go. And then usually if this was a real person, I have to seal the cuticle. So what that means is sometimes when you apply the bead at the cuticle area, it's really fat. And once the nail starts growing out, you'll see that under that cuticle area, you'll be able to pretty much see under the acrylic. You'll see like this weird dip under there. So you have to do this thing called sealing the cuticle area. So I go in with this cuticle bit and that little tip right there, it's pretty much guiding me, and I'm flattening that surface so that when it starts growing out, it looks flat and blended to the nail that's growing out. And since I just did that, I am going to go back in with my file and blend that cuticle area back with the nail area so that it doesn't look like there's this weird dip. I don't know if you guys see on my actual nails, they look a little funky, they're a little jacked up, but I tried to do that with the cuticle. I was practicing on myself. So I don't know if you guys noticed as I was doing this whole video that my cuticle area looks a little funky. I was practicing how to seal my cuticle area with the nails I have now because when they were growing out, I could see like that dip. It looked like a hollow shape. I don't know how to explain it, but if you're learning and your nails are growing out and you just see like this big fat thing under it, you didn't seal the cuticle. You need to make sure that that acrylic near the cuticle area is more flat than the actual nail. That's how you distinguish the apex also, so that your nail won't look flat. And right here, I'm just finishing off the nails. I'm going in with my buffing brush again, and I'm trying to remove some of those dips. I don't know if you guys notice, I have dips on some of the nails. My sweater finger is done for. I can't do anything much about it. It is what it is. And I'm satisfied with the way it looks, so I'm just going to go ahead and go in with my top coat. This is the Beetles Gel Finish top coat. I've been using this top coat forever already, and it's one of the better top coats on Amazon. So again, I will link it down below. And you guys see I have that dip. So in the middle portion towards the tip, I have to kind of like go over it again with the top coat, but once you notice it on the side, you'll see that dip. So I just gave up. I was just like, I'm over it. I just want to finish these nails. But it's okay. We're practicing, so don't feel bad about it. And make sure that when you're applying the top coat, do not flood your cuticle area with so much of the top coat, because when your nail starts growing out, it's going to be stuck to the actual skin and you don't want to do that. And after I'm done, I go ahead and put it back in the UV light for another 60 seconds. And once that's done, I go ahead and I touch the finger just in case, make sure that the top coat is dry, and I'm done. I'm finally done. You guys saw the struggle. The struggle was very, very real. I obviously still need a lot of work. I felt like my French tip was fine. My Christmas sweater one was kind of a fail, but you know, I still got to practice. My solid acrylic bead hand finger was not all that great. My ombre still needs a little bit of work. When it comes down to the hand, I actually returned it. I didn't like the fact that I couldn't turn the fingers from side to side. And when I tried to measure the fingers, as you guys saw, I struggled with it. So it was returned. But it was still good practice, right? But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want to see any more of these types of video, please make sure to like and subscribe and let me know, what do you guys want to see next. Until then, have a good one, guys. Peace.